Today we're going to turn this dirty old pallet into this shiny new table. So let's get started by taking it apart.
So I found these pallets behind a local sports store and instantly knew that they were 100% oak, so I knew I had to make a table out of them. I struggled for a little bit trying to get them broken down with a hammer and a pry bar, but I eventually just got fed up and went to the circular saw. As I'm sure a lot of you know, a lot of other YouTube creators have done stuff like this, which originally inspired me to do this. So I started this project over a year and like 5 months ago. So that's why I'm doing this voiceover now and why some of this footage is very crusty, as you will see later on. Right now, what I'm doing is just cutting the boards right down the middle, so we're getting around an inch of surface area, and then I'm just going to cut them right down the middle to make kind of like a checkered board pattern. You'll see here in a second what I mean after we clean this horrendously messy garage. Now I'm just chopping the ends off for one reason, to make a square edge, and for the second reason, just to cut off any of the imperfections or cracks. Like I said earlier, this was my first big table build, so I was very inexperienced, and if you guys look closely, you can see my biggest mistake right here. What I'm doing is putting the boards and laminating them together with glue, but I didn't sand them previously, so what it's doing is basically just bonding the outside layer, which is not strong or bonded to the actual wood, so these guys will be breaking a lot. Okay, so I got 3 done. We got this one, and that one. And I have 3 more, and I'm a little bit tired of doing it. So what I'm going to try to do is get a piece of wood, glue them all up and line them together, all 3 of them, put that piece of wood in between them, and then clamp them down. And just hope that works. I just put a giant scratch on my dad's truck. Don't think that's going to buff out. Oh well, it's only 23 years old. Oh, what did I break now? Just the cover. We're good. It should just. And we're back in business. I'm gonna stop throwing things though. It seems a bit reckless. Okay, so after we glued these up and pulled them out of the molds, we cut them all into 5-inch squares and kind of sorted them into a table kind of shape, but unfortunately I lost the footage of me actually cutting them. Here's how it's going to go. So, what we ended up, these are all the same size, the ones in the middle. Then we're going to do like an interior border on these because these ones are smaller than the ones in the middle. So yeah, we're just going to glue up the middle first, I think. And then we'll just shove the outsides on it afterwards, I think maybe. Okay, we got half of them in a jig just because it seemed like a lot, so we got the other half right there and the rest of them over there. Yeah, we're just gonna do those other ones and put them onto that one, and then we'll catch back up with you. Okay, so now we got one giant slab here. I tried to match it up so we have kind of a straight edge. We got like giant gaps right there. So I am going to first get a chisel and just chisel this off. It's going with the grain, so it shouldn't be that hard. Alright, so as you can see, or you've already seen by now, I just went over the top of it a couple of times, kind of smoothed it all out. made it easier to sand, which we're not gonna do yet. Now we're gonna add the skirt. but this is all put together with a skirt on it. I just glued up all these squares, and they're gonna be an end here for the outline. Ta-da! I got a planner. I found it on Marketplace for $100, which is kind of a steal. Now the borders are actually all on and ready to be glued up, so we're gonna do that. So while this dries, I'm not sure if I've explained this totally yet, but when I took apart all these pallets, I never cleaned the outsides of them, so that would be like this part, aside from when I cut them. So half of these have dirty sides, and the glue is not going to hold. I think to remedy that and make it a lot stronger, we're going to need to use some of this particle board here and make an epoxy mold, and then we're gonna pour epoxy into this. It'll be clear epoxy, and then it'll fill in all these cracks and all these places where it's super loose, and it'll all be sturdy. Then we can surface it down, and it'll all be one good solid table. There we go, we're all ready to put that in there. No. Now we can move on to actually pouring. Right here what I'm doing is just using a power planer to get all that excess epoxy off to make it easier to sand. Here we just have to do some finishing touches on the epoxy to fill in that crevice where the skirt is not big enough. So now we're ready to start sanding it. I'm gonna start with 80, then go to 100, then go to 120, then we'll finish it off with 180. Maybe 220, we'll see.
Okay, so now we can let that dry for a little bit and put on the legs. Aha, there we go, it's done. Like I said when the video started, this took a long time to do, and you can definitely see how my skills have improved just video making all throughout it. And if you guys liked it, then drop a like. That's the best way to support me. So, see ya!